we're back with our special guest today, Dr. Don Betts, president of Northeastern State University. The first part of the first segment, Dr. Betts, we talked a little bit about where we've been the last year or so at NSU and some of our history. Let's talk for a little bit about charting the second century, this new era that we're already entering into, and maybe you could give us kind of your view about where we're going. I know we have a new plaza, or not a plaza, but a square that's going to be developed and we're going to launch.
Right, exactly. In fact, we're already into the actual work, but when we finish Second Century Square, metaphorically, will be that place that symbolizes the view forward as opposed to Centennial Plaza, which is the look back to our values and back to our history, which is absolutely essential to our success. But the second century ahead of us obviously is full of change and challenge, and the best of us will be tested. It would be easy to say that it's going to look like the last 100 years, but it's not even going to look like the last 10 minutes because it's going to continue to shift and change. I think a couple of manifestations that give us people a sense of what we're about. First is we're going to be building, and we are currently building, a whole series of collaborative relationships with other institutions, with nonprofits, with business, government, Cherokee Nation, and other Native nations. The whole notion is based on the premise that none of us is smarter than all of us, and that we need everybody in the process in order to affect the changes. So that part of being the change that we talked about in the last segment is actually preparing ourselves to be good partners, because change will happen. Now, do we get to be the recipients of the change? Some would say the victims of change, or do we get to manage and direct change? And that means, do we create the leadership paradigm that makes it possible for us to seize the opportunities for change and take it in our direction? Only one way to do that, I think, and we think, is we do it with other people. We do it collaboratively inside the institution and collaboratively outside. And one of the best examples I can give you of the recent past was the intensely successful regional summit that was held here last November, which was a partnership from the first conceptualization with the Cherokee Nation, obviously the community, SAC-EASY, the empowerment zone, economic empowerment zone of our counties and Northeastern State University. We happen to hold it on our campus, but this is really a wonderful manifestation of the power and efficacy of collaboration. And I can tell you that the day we opened that session, I think there were some that had to ask the question, what if we hold a summit and nobody shows up?
I heard that more than once.
Right, because you were there.
That's right.
And what happened was they all showed up. In fact, more than we ever expected, and from a broad, diverse spectrum of individuals and groups, to the extent that I felt from the first 10 minutes it was a success. As it turned out over the 2 days, it turned out it was in fact an unqualified success from virtually every perspective, not only the numbers, but the quality of the conversation and the collective conclusion, which is, not only do we need more summits, but we're in this together, and we're going to actually create a regional sense of identity and possibility. We're going to grow opportunities, grow jobs, enhance communities here, and we're not going to wait for somebody else to do it for us. And we're going to organize ourselves as a region so that we can be more effective and more efficient in working with Oklahoma City or Washington, D.C., or wherever the opportunities may lie. And that energy that came out of that meeting continues, and continues right now to the planning that's going on, as you well know, for October 26th and 27th of 2010, when the Regionalism Summit, with a new moniker, a new subtitle, will be rolling out. And there are many people from the Cherokee Nation, from SAC-EASY, from other counties around us, as well as Northeastern State, that are actively working even today on this very project.
And it's a wonderful response from all these communities, and Tahlequah has been a great host to that event. And we do thank them and recognize them, but it's amazing how this is spread throughout eastern Oklahoma and so quickly. And every time we meet, there's this great excitement in the room about, well, what's next, and where are we going, and what will the change be? So great excitement.
The lesson, I think, for the Regional Summit has not been lost on other areas. I am asked often about the summit, and people raise it to me who I would not even know are in fact aware of the summit. And I think what it is for people is they're all looking, whether it's a city, a state, or whatever, looking for what is the right combination of people and resources and vision and commitment in order to in fact create your future. And I think we're going in the right direction.
I know one result of that has been the development of the CORE program, the community outreach, retention and enrollment, recruitment, those kind of things that have been a concern for area high schools, regional high schools, I guess high schools everywhere.
Sure.
But how we can be a more proactive partner in those communities and those public school systems. And as you well know, as we've traveled together in some of the communities around Tahlequah, we're very well received, and people are very excited about that opportunity for their children and the next leaders of their community.
And I think one of the reasons why the CORE program will be successful is that we are not entering any community saying, here is the blueprint for success, we know everything, and here you just have to accept it and come along. This is a true partnership, and as you've said many times, Jerry, we go to listen, we go to learn, and from listening we learn, and from learning we can plan, from planning we can execute. And that's what's going on. And the more partners that we have in communities and in organizations, et cetera, the more opportunities all of us have to grow and prosper.
And I know in having a conversation with David Moore and the Tahlequah Chamber is a lot of exciting things going on. They have a new president that's going to be placed into office, I think, here just really quick, and he happens to be Dr. Don Betts, and we're excited about that.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that. But the many different ways that we as an institution and as a community work together, and David was going over a list of the Red Fern Festival and Christmas Parade and Balloon Fest and so many different ways that community organizations like the Chamber are interwoven within the community, and it's part of the fabric of the community.
And for me, it's always been symbolized by what happens when you approach Tahlequah, if you come from the south. You make your way through a very heavily commercialized zone and up through various historical districts right through the center of our community with the wonderful work being done by the city and the Cherokee Nation revitalization. You come up further north, and eventually it's like the capstone of our center community is this university, and the highest point, of course, is Seminary Hall. It all fits. We are all part of the same organism, and the more we realize that and the more we find common zones of collaboration, all boats will be raised and all opportunities will be open to us.
I know one of the areas too that I've had a pleasure of working with is our Higher Learning Commission group that's working as we prepare for our self-examination of what we're doing and how we're going to serve the communities and what ways we have, what ways we haven't. Accreditation is very important, and the community plays a big role in that accreditation process.
Oh, they do. The Higher Learning Commission will be sending a group of our peers from around the country to review us in the early part of 2012. We will have spent at least 2.5 years preparing for their visit. We will be constructing a self-study of probably 250 pages that describes where we are and what we're trying to accomplish according to the established criteria. I think the outcome, I know the outcome will be successful, but it's a wonderful chance for us to take a deep look at ourselves.
We've got about 30, 45 seconds left. This program's gone so quickly, and we must have you back again. The short bullet point that this community, the Tahlequah region, should always remember about Northeastern and its relationship with Northeastern State University, what would that be?
Well, the only thing I can say is we're the partner in virtually every way we can conceive of. We're looking forward to learning how we can better serve the community. We've been in and of this community forever, which is a wonderful part of our legacy, but we don't want to ever be complacent. It's not about they're there and they're always going to do the same things. There's a certain level of tradition that you have to embrace, but beyond the tradition, it's about invention, it's about creativity, and that can be sparked and should be sparked by our interrelationships with our partners.
Well, I think what we'll do is we'll plan to invite you to come back if your schedule allows for some time period right about the time school starts in the fall. And we'll launch another year here in the community at Northeastern State University. And also will allow us to talk about some of the goals we're setting as we move forward and that we plan to really be the change.
I appreciate that, and I want to thank everybody in this community that may be watching this program because we really appreciate your support and look forward to serving you.
We appreciate you being here today, Dr. Betts, and we'll be right back.